The time has come. We have reached game week. Week 0 is upon us. Farmageddon is taking place in Dublin this Saturday at noon. We are saving that preview for later this week, along with both of our college football playoff predictions and our preseason top 12 rankings. That's coming out later this week. Today, it's all about conference championship game predictions. This is mainly going to be an opinion-based episode who we think are going to make the respective Power Four conference championship games for all of our other episodes, positional rankings, conference win totals, conference power rankings. Those contain a buttload of stats and analysis, so go check those out. This is Always Talking Ball. Tyler Noe, Lance Barton. Before we get started, as always, make sure you like and subscribe on whatever platform you're tuning in on. Make sure you're following us on X, Instagram, and TikTok. And as always, we are brought to you by Frost Buddy, the best can cooler koozie on the market. It's a 10-in-1 koozie that keeps your drinks cold, man. Whether it's a traditional 12-ounce can, a slim seltzer can, Coke bottle, bottled water, glass bottle, you name it, man. They've got a ton of college football teams on there. I just happen to be rocking a brand new Indiana Frost Buddy here. Pretty sick for all you Indiana fans out there. I know we got a lot of Indiana subscribers, Indiana listeners. My wife got that for me for my birthday. It's pretty sick. Head over to frostbuddy.com/ATB. And when you check out, make sure you choose the 30% cash back option. You'll get an email after purchase, and they'll give you a sweet credit that you can use on a future Frost Buddy product. And they have what they're calling like these thick buddies. It's similar to a Stanley. My wife just got one. It's 50 ounces, and it has an insert that you can pop in like a Starbucks iced coffee in there too, and just carry it around. Like, it's pretty sick. Men, go to frostbuddy.com/ATB. Get your wife one of those, and they will love it. frostbuddy.com/AT. Let's start off in the Big Ten. Overall storylines, obviously, you've got, Penn State coming back from their semifinal loss last year and then returning everyone, kind of how Michigan did 2 years ago, kind of how Ohio State did last year. Is it Penn State's time to, continue that three-peat, 3 years in a row for the Big Ten and get James Franklin over the hump with a lot of these big games and win the national championship? Of course, they're going to have to do that against the defending national champion, Ohio State Buckeyes, who are going to reload with talent. And Ryan Day, they got new coordinators. You've got Michigan, the storylines. I mean, we couldn't even hop on and do like a live reaction to the Michigan punishments that were handed down on Friday, which of course they're appealing, but storylines with Michigan. And honestly, man, like I'm ready to put the Michigan stuff in the rearview mirror. Of course, Michigan's not because they're appealing it, but you've got Oregon, right? They're defending Big Ten regular season champions, undefeated, number 1 seed going into last year's playoff. They're breaking in a new quarterback. You've got Indiana coming back. Like, will they be a one-hit wonder? Will Illinois, carry on the momentum from beating South Carolina in that bowl game last year? USC, will they bounce back, right? It's just storyline after storyline in the Big Ten, which obviously you come to realize, and come to know in one of the Power 2 conferences like them in the SEC. So what are your overall kind of things you're just looking for in the Big Ten this year?
I just think, man, that obviously it starts there at the top with, is it finally James Franklin and Penn State's time to get over that hump? Ohio State obviously losing everything that they lost. I'm interested to see, like, for me, it's not necessarily like the overall roster. I know that's what everybody's going to focus on. We've seen that in our social media posts. Anytime we post anything good about Ohio State, the rest of the fans outside of Ohio State, outside of Columbus, love just to point to all these players and all these starters that they lost. We get it. There's a ton of talent that went on to the NFL. But for me, it's the coordinators that they're replacing. They're replacing the best tandem of coordinators in all of college football last year. There's a reason why that Jim Knowles just became one of the highest paid assistants ever in college football. Chip Kelly getting paid $6 million to go be the offensive coordinator for the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, that's what they think of him in the NFL. Replacing those two guys is what's going to be the most interesting part for me. Now, I think they got 2 really good hires. Everybody, again, loves making fun of the whole Matt Patricia thing, and all everybody can point to is his failures as a head coach for the Detroit Lions. I got a news flash for anybody that thinks that. What he did as a head coach for, at the time, just booty Detroit Lions has absolutely jack shit to do with what he'll do as a defensive coordinator in college football. Those literally do not correlate to each other at all. So I think he's going to do a good job at Ohio State. Will he do as well as what Jim Knowles did? I know some Buckeye fans act like that Knowles wasn't that great, but that's the storylines for me for Ohio State. And I want to know, man, like when is it that, as far as Oregon and Dan Lanning, he's still a young coach, okay? But we all put him up there now with some of the elite coaches and the elite coaches in college football. Last year, I just think he got a terrible draw because of that stupid bracket, the way they had it set up. And now they're going to straight seeding. Oregon wouldn't have drawn Ohio State right out of the gate in the Rose Bowl like they did last year if they went straight seeding. But can Oregon and Dan Lanning, can they get over that hump? They've honestly got an advantageous schedule. Again, I don't think they've got a brutal schedule at all. So could they get over that hump and start competing for national championships? Because that's what Oregon fans want to see with what they're recruiting. And that's definitely what Phil Knight wants to see with all the money that they're pouring into that program. But Tyler, let's get into some dark horses because the team that I wanted to discuss, what I was about to discuss, I said, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into it.
Don't steal it from me.
My dark horse in the Big Ten is right now I'm looking at DraftKings. They're plus 1,800 to win the Big Ten, and which is fifth currently, Big Ten odds. And that is Lincoln Riley and USC. Now, I know there's some of you right now that just gasped and just laughed and said that, acting like Lincoln Riley's forgotten how to coach and he's soft and blah, blah, blah. Well, I just disagree with you. I think that Lincoln Riley has not forgotten how to coach. I think that he finally hit a home run with the defensive coordinator hire with DeAnton Lynn, and going from being ranked in the 100s defensively in 2023 to cutting that over in half. And as far as the jump and the leap forward that they took last year in 2024, I think they're actually going to be able to win some games now defensively. Do I think the USC is going to be one of the best defensive teams in all of college football this year? I do not. Do I think they're going to be one of the best 3 or 4 defenses in the Big Ten this year? I do not. They don't have to be with Lincoln Riley's offense. And Lincoln Riley's offenses are always good. They're going to be good again this year. They've got one of the best wide receiver corps in all of college football, led by Mekhi Lemon and Jacoby Lane. And Lincoln Riley did not go dip into the transfer portal for a quarterback either. A lot of people were surprised about that. That tells me he likes what he's got in Jaden Mayava at the quarterback position. So, and when you look at USC's schedule, when we're looking at this stuff and trying to project people to go to Big Ten championships or go to conference championships or playoffs, schedule matters. It just does. This isn't a power rating. And USC, when you look at their schedule, right now I've got USC going 9-3. When Tyler's going to be pulling up, the actual photos of what we've got in some of our standings. I've got USC going 9-3 on the year. But if they were to possibly win like a game, let's talk about at Illinois, for example, or at Nebraska, games like that. Like those are games that USC can win. Mm-hmm. And if they win games like that, that's a 10-2 football team. But yeah, USC at plus 1,800 is a team that I'm looking at as far as a dark horse. And again, when we're talking about dark horses, it really is we're not going to be scared. We're going to throw out actual real dark horses, not somebody like Oregon, outside of just Penn State and Ohio State. Oregon's not a dark horse, okay?
Right.
USC would be a true dark horse.
All right, my dark horse. That's cute. You had a nice little 18-1 dark horse. My dark horse is 50-1 on DraftKings to win the Big Ten.
Are you going to swim in the fishbowl, Tyler?
I'm going to the PMW and I'm swimming in the fishbowl. Can't even get it out of my mouth. The Washington Huskies, a team that we have talked about a lot this year.
Yep.
We had them, I think. What was it? We didn't even have them in the top 8 in the post-spring Big Ten power rankings, I don't think. But we had Damon Williams. What was he, number 3 as far as our Big Ten quarterbacks goes, right? Right now on KFordRatings.com, they've got 3 games that they are substantial underdogs in. Now, 2 of those come in Husky Stadium, and they are against Ohio State and Oregon. Right now, I think they're going to get one of those games. I toyed with them getting both because Husky Stadium is an underrated place to play. And if you've gone on our Instagram and checked out our ranking of the top 12 toughest places to play, I mean, it's hit or miss on. And I know all those people saying Husky Stadium shouldn't be on the list to live in the southeast of America, but it's a loud, loud place. Just ask Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks. The last couple times they've gone there hasn't gone well for them.
Dude, they lost. I don't know that they've lost at home in like the last 2 or 3 years.
I think
Even
they. I
last
mean,
year.
yeah, I look at the schedule last year, maybe, but I know they beat Michigan last year at home. So they go to Michigan on the road this year, week 8, and that's a game that's going to be tough for them to get. Their other road games are Washington State, Maryland, Wisconsin, and UCLA. The Maryland game will be tough because it is just like a cross country travel, and the stat last year with those teams crossing over 2 to 3 time zones, like, was not favorable for the
Bro,
teams that were on the road.
let me add to that because I was looking at that today. It's also right after they play the Buckeyes.
Yep.
They get the
So
Buckeyes.
if you happen to beat the Buckeyes, right,
What a trap
you
spot.
can't follow it up with a loss to Maryland.
Yeah,
Like, so
ultimate trap spot.
yeah. But right now I've got them going 9-3 with splitting the Ohio State Oregon game. I think they could win both of those. They could go 10-2 and they could be 7-2 in the conference, and that will get them in the Big Ten championship game, talks and discussion. And just it depends on Damon Williams, man. Like, is he the real deal? Is who we think he's going to be? Does Denzel Boston take the next step as a receiver? Does Jonah Coleman keep doing what he's doing? Omari Evans, I mean, those guys. So, does the defense step up? Replacing Steve Belichick, and I just think Ryan Walters coming over. I think that the defense is going to be solid, but Washington is my dark horse as far as championship game matchups. We are both in lockstep here, man. I've got Ohio State versus Penn State in a rematch of that regular season game. You do as well. Who do you have winning in the regular season at Ohio Stadium?
I've got the Buckeyes beating them at home, man. I still think the Buckeyes get them in Columbus. I got to believe it to see it, man, that Penn State can beat Ohio State, period. But also in Columbus. What about you? Do you have Ohio State beating Penn State in Columbus?
I've got Ohio State beating Penn State in Columbus, and then I've got Penn State. They're gonna. I think they'll beat Oregon at home.
Agreed.
So
Whiteout
I guess
conditions.
you can count that as a big win for James Franklin. It'll be over a top 10 Oregon team most likely. And nobody's going to fault him for going to Ohio State and losing in a game they're probably going to be underdogs at.
Let me rephrase that for you. They shouldn't fault him for that, but everybody will act like that is just the most catastrophic loss ever for Penn State. They'll never be able to beat Ohio State. James Franklin will never win the big one. All that stuff will be out. And then in Indianapolis, it's in Indy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then in Indianapolis, right down the street from our Tom's Wipes bar, where me and you and Ryan had some drinks last year before the Big Ten championship game. Who knows? We might be there again this coming up here. If you can come through on some tickets again. Penn State's going to take down Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game in a rematch.
I'm with you, man. Yep. I'm with you. I think Penn State gets it done, and that sets them up for a pretty good playoff run and a top seed there. Once again, thank you guys for subscribing, commenting, liking, all that stuff on YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Football season's right around the corner. If you're just getting back into it, man, we appreciate you listening. Where have you been all off season? We're here year round, man. We love hearing from you guys. Share this podcast, share the show with your friends. We're on Instagram, we're on X, we're on TikTok. Just go find us, man. We love to converse. We love to banter back and forth. You can call us stupid, man. We got thick skin. It's fine. Plenty of people have called us stupid recently. That's fine. So we appreciate you guys listening. For Lance Barton, I'm Tyler Noe. Take care. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.